So this is my week 24 pregnancy update for you, and I'm afraid it's going to be a bit of a long one because I've had, well, me and Baba have had a bit of a dramatic week, to say the least. So basically I'll go through that first. I have done a blog post, I don't know if it's up yet before I put this up, but I will pop the link below when it is up. Just all about what happened, just in case anyone finds themselves in a similar situation, just to kind of share what happened to me and hopefully help anyone that ends up like we have been this week. But basically on Sunday night I started getting pains in my lower back and the kind of right hand side of my lower back, and then I went to work on Monday and I felt pretty like rubbish all day, and then I got home from work around 5:30, 6, the usual, and I just felt really strange. And baby hadn't been doing much, and this baby is really active, so I was a bit like and then I was just sitting down and I went to stand up, and too much information alert if you're watching this and you've never been pregnant, or you are pregnant, or you just don't want to hear about these things, then just turn it off. But I felt like a bit of a something going on down there, so I was like so I went to the toilet, and there was like quite a lot of kind of like mucusy stuff, and then within minutes I had quite a bad bleed. So I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. So Robert was like, well, we have a maternity centre that I go to my midwife appointments just down the road, and they're open till 8 at night, so I think this was around 6 o'clock ish. So I called them and they were like, call the hospital, like the proper hospital, which is in Portsmouth. So I did that, and then they said come in immediately, and don't forget your notes. So I took my notes, and we panicked trying to find someone to take Isla because we don't really have any family around here. So in the end we got through to Rob's brother, which was fab, and they helped us out, so thank you very much. They took Isla, or they came over. We got Isla ready for bed early, and then we went over to the hospital, and I was in the maternity assessment unit for an hour and a bit-ish. Got all my observations done, so like your blood pressure, they check your pee, what else do they do, your temperature, and then I got a set of bloods done as well, and explained the whole situation to a midwife, and then they got a doctor in, and then the doctor did an exam with like a speculum thing to look at my cervix, and then I got admitted. So when they checked my cervix, at that point they couldn't actually see any bleeding, and it had just been like one gush, lovely word, rather than like bits and bobs. So it kind of stopped when I got to hospital, so it was like, oh, but baby was being a bit funny, and the pain had moved in the car from my back round to my front, and it was tightening at intervals, like not anything like the level of contractions or even Braxton Hicks, but it was just a bit concerning that the pain was coming at intervals rather than just being there all the time. So they listened to baby's heartbeat, and then after that the doctor got a consultant in to see me and kind of feel around everything, and then they decided to do a scan because with Isla my placenta was really low. I had that placenta previa, whatever it's called. I had a bleed because of that, but this time around I was told at my titely scan my placenta is in a really good position, but they just want to check that. Oh, out of breath. So they got like a transportable scan thing, came to the room, scanned me. Baby wasn't moving much, but they were like happy enough with baby, and then my placenta was in the right place, so they kind of ruled that out as anything to do with the bleeding. So yeah, I got admitted overnight to check, just monitor me basically and see if I had any more bleeding or anything like that. So yeah, I was in overnight. I was in a really quiet ward with only, my room had 4 beds, but there's only 2 of us, and the other one only got brought in at like midnight. So I was by myself for like a lot of the time, so it was quite quiet, which was nice. And then in the morning they just kept checking all my like blood pressure and pee and temperature and all that jazz, and I was still sore, but the tightening had stopped. It was just more like cramps, so I was kind of pushing to go home because Rob deploys next week, so I didn't really want to spend our last week as a family for this year in hospital. So eventually I got discharged. So if I came home on bed rest basically for like a week and didn't go back to work, so that was okay. And we got home, and within 2 hours I had another really bad bleed. So this time, like, because I had been wearing pads, I couldn't really show them the first time, really gross, but they told me to keep wearing pads, so we had to bring that in. Actually no, I took a photo and brought it in. I was like, I don't want to show them that's really gross to Robert. I was like, I'll take a photo. So I took a photo and took it with me just in case. So we had to go back, we called and they said come back in. So I went back to the assessment unit, saw the same doctor I saw the night before. She was like, oh hello, you're back, and explained everything, and she seemed like a bit more concerned this time and showed her the amount of blood and everything. So that was that. Got admitted again. That took ages this time. I don't know if it was because it was mid-afternoon, it was a lot busier, a lot of people in with like reduced movements and things like that. And then when I was asked about it, I was a bit like, actually baby hasn't been moving that much. So again, I didn't really want to get admitted, but I got admitted, so I was in. And then same story, lots of observations. The pain was still pretty sore at this point, and then I did get really reduced movements, like baby just stopped for a bit, and then I had an overbleed in hospital. So again, I had to like take my pad to them and show them. Gross, but obviously they're used to it. And this time I was in a room with, it was full, so it was really busy, so there was always people in the bathroom. I was like, oh, so awkward. As soon as I had the bleed, the midwife came, and because baby's 23 weeks and a few days at that point, but 24 weeks now, they're too small to be for you to be hooked up to the CTG thing that I got hooked up with when I was admitted with Isla, where it monitors their heart rate for like a specific amount of time. At this stage they still have to use the Doppler because baby can move around quite a lot. So they came in, they did that, and they noticed a few decelerations in the baby's heartbeat, which was rubbish, and even I heard them. It was that obvious when they were doing it. So I think they bleeped the registrar, but there was a few emergencies in the labour ward because where I was, the antenatal ward was right next to the labour ward. So the registrar said just listen to baby every hour, and if anything got worse, just let them know and monitor the bleeding. So did that, went through the night getting monitored, and the heart rate did pick up again. And I got kept in because they wanted me to have a proper scan, like a full-on scan for a consultant the next day. So I got to the next day, had the scan, baby was measuring a little bit small, but my placenta looked fine and they were relatively happy, so that was good. I got back to the ward, was just having spotting, still having pain. In my pee, white blood cells showed up indicating an infection of some description. And with all my other symptoms, and I've had kidney infections before, I was diagnosed with a kidney infection, but they don't think that actually caused the bleeding or anything. That is still a mystery. So I got antibiotics, and again the registrar consultant came around and I like pushed him to discharge me. I got discharged and I came home, and I'm home, and I've been home since. This is now 2 days later, and I'm sore. I'm not gonna lie, I am still very sore. I've never been one to monitor baby's movements at all, but I have been really like I don't know if it's because I have more time, like I'm at home, I'm not supposed to be doing anything, I'm supposed to be on bed rest, even though me and bed rest don't really get on. But I don't know if it's just because I'm not at work and I have more time to think about things than that and notice things. I'm like getting more panicky about baby's movements, which isn't like me at all. But anyway, things are looking much better, so that's good, and we just have to monitor it. I've got a midwife appointment on Tuesday, and I'll hopefully be back to work on Thursday. Rob deploys on Wednesday, so that's rubbish. But yeah, apart from that, symptom wise, that's probably all my symptoms in a nutshell there. I kind of went off food again, haven't felt sick, haven't had headaches. I don't think my mum and dad will watch this, so I'll say it, but in case they do, I'll be in trouble. I have fainted a couple times, so clearly overdoing it still. But Rob's being a complete nag, and he is being really great, so that'll be fine. I think it's just because I've just got low blood pressure. Can't help it, can't do anything about it. And that's it really for all my symptoms. Sorry this has been very long-winded, but a lot of people have been asking what happened, and I've had so many lovely comments and people thinking about us, so thank you so much. And our friends have been great, they've really helped with Isla. Isla has not been phased at all. She's an adaptable little soul, but she came into hospital to visit me and was like, oh hello mama, and just didn't bat an eyelid as to the fact that I wasn't at home or anything. So she's been great, which has been a complete relief because it was breaking my heart being away from her as well. Like Robert was sending me photos, I was like, I just want to hug her. So Rob's been great, Isla's been great, friends have been so great. I'm seeing my dad this weekend, which is really exciting. He was down on business from London, so he's going to be here, which will be really nice. My poor dog up at home had to have a spine surgery, so my poor mum's been like devastated all week about the two of us, but her prognosis is really good, best scenario, so that's good. And that's about it. That is what has been happening with us this week. It's been emotionally draining, to say the least. So that's symptoms. Let's talk about what baby should be like. I'm not going to show you the photo because I've got my camera on quite light settings because it's later at night, and so you won't be able to see my screen. But it's a photo of twins anyway, so that's not me. So baby is 30 centimetres this week and 600 grams. I'm not sure what that is in pounds, but I think I was told on my scan that baby's estimated weight is a pound or just under a pound. So that's good, I guess. Oh, and from 24 weeks, baby's viable now. That's the exciting thing about this week, and they kept banging on about in hospital that baby is now viable. So, because I almost got steroid injections in my bum for baby's lungs, but they didn't want to give them in case I have to come back in a week or two with the same symptoms, because you can only have them once. So they like to go as far as you can before they give them to baby to mature their lungs. So I didn't get the steroid injections. I had them with Vylan. They are bloody sore. So I was quite happy when they said I didn't have to have them this time unless things got worse. And they also threatened to drip in a cannula at one point, but I got out with that too. Baby's hair is beginning to change to the colour it will be at birth. I think I mentioned that last week, so this is telling me the same thing twice. Baby's weight will double in the next few weeks, so that's exciting. Getting ready for the countdown to birth. The lungs are also developing and preparing for their first breath. They are producing a substance called surfactant, something like that, which prevents them from sticking together when they open and close is the wrong word, inflate and deflate. Loud noises now apparently could startle your baby, so they'll jolt about in like your uterus if they hear anything really loud. And due to baby's growth, because they're getting bigger, apparently the space in your uterus is starting to get more cramped. So I still feel like baby's got quite a lot of room actually, so I don't know how long that'll last. This is what bump looks like. It went down quite a bit at the beginning of the week because I was basically just eating toast and cereal in hospital. So since I've been home and having some pick and mix and some Krispy Kremes, we are getting bigger again. So that's my week 24 pregnancy update. Hopefully it's filled you in on a bunch of stuff. Again, I'll link the blog post to what happened below and show you some funny photos of Isla in hospital if you're interested. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you for a less dramatic week 25 next week. Although I'll have no husband, so I might be an emotional wreck. Who knows? We will see. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye. Hi everyone. So this is week 23 pregnancy update.